Morning, guys. Welcome to Up the Reds. My match day review of yesterday's 4-2 defeat for Barnsley against Stoke in the Sky Bet Championship. We'll start with the team news. The one change was in came Cameron McGeehan for Malik Wilkes. So the team was Brad Collins in goal, Bambo Diaby, Toby Sibic, and Arpo Ham. Wing backs Jacob Brown, Dimitri Cavare, Alex Mowat, Kenny Dougal, Cameron McGeehan in midfield, and Chaplin and Woodrow up front. All week, most Barnsley fans were quite optimistic about this game. We went into it off a decent comeback against Bristol City, playing some good stuff. All week we've been saying, cut the mistakes, we'll be fine, cut the mistakes, let's turn up and we'll get a result. And the team did the exact opposite. They started slowly. They made error after error at the back. I'll break down bits in a minute, but the errors were just fatal once again. The team never started well. I think after 6 seconds, McGeehan flew into a tackle and gave away a stupid free kick. And it just set the tempo for the game that we were going to be disorganised, unprofessional. It was just a mess, just an absolute mess. The first goal came by just a simple clearance from Brad Collins that he never got any height on, went straight to Sam Clucas on his favoured left foot and just popped it back over his head from the halfway line. And, you know, all credit to Clucas. It's a fantastic goal, fantastic finish, but a fatal error from Collins. And, I've been a supporter of Collins these last few weeks. I've commented on the spine being okay in the side. You just can't legislate for somebody messing up like that. And it's every week a different player makes a different mistake. The team, I'm going to go further into it later on, but I'm just trying to break down what happened first. So that was the first goal, and it shocked us. You could visibly see it shocked us. Then some sloppy play in the right back area from Cavare. Cavare had one of his half asleep games again, letting players run up behind him. He looked okay coming forward at times, but positionally at the back and soft in the tackle. A guy like Cavare should not be soft in the tackle. And there's a little interplay on their left, our right, and McLean's got in, took two players out, and Mowat's had to come across, and he didn't have to go into like crazy two-footed, but he did, and conceded a penalty. Some fans thought it wasn't a penalty. It certainly was. You can't take somebody out like that. I think Mowat knew what he was doing, to be fair. They had two players waiting in the box, and he was either going to slot it or square it, and there was definitely a goal coming anyway. So I think he took one there, and Gregory slots it away, and the half just never got going. It was like the worst half since Luton. No punch, no bite, no energy, no drive, just deflated, just absolutely deflated. Absolutely terrible. It's by the time we started singling people out, Sibic needs dropping. He was so slow. Even simple balls down the channels, it was taking him 2 seconds to react. You can't take 2 seconds to react, especially when you got Tom Ince behind you. Now, Tom Ince's career has gone a bit backwards recently, and he's not really been that effective. But you can't let a guy like him running behind you just as he wants to. It's just ridiculous. There were at least 4 times when Sibic just let him go. Just ridiculous. Other performances. I mean, Mowat in the first half. We needed Mowat to show the example to the others, and he picked yesterday to just completely disappear. Completely disappear. I mean, he picked it up a little bit in the second half, but it was too late. He should have been driving that team forward. maybe this is why Stendhal didn't pick him as captain. Maybe he's got no bottle. I don't know. Maybe he's okay at times when there's no pressure, but when pressure's on, he can't handle it. We don't know. Because I think we were kind of expecting to win yesterday. Maybe Mowatt doesn't bode well under that pressure. I'm not sure. Other performances, McGeehan just woeful. He was woeful, and I love McGeehan. I love the Glad. I love the heart. Last year, he was the driving force behind what we did. I thought, talisman, in some ways, and this season, his quality he's not good enough for the championship. He's just not. And why did he start? Why did Luke Thomas not start after the energy and the drive and the fact that he affects games? Why is Styles not starting? He's banged in 2 free kicks in the under-23s, or a free kick and another goal in the under-23s, playing out of his skin. Why is he not starting? Why is he not starting? We've got naught to lose. What did McGeehan has no tactical awareness whatsoever, no positional awareness. He just runs as fast as he possibly can in every direction and fouls a lot. I mean, don't get me wrong, his finish was good. But for me, you could say that finish is a positive, but for me it's a negative because he might play again next time because he scored, and he shouldn't play. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a class finish for the goal, and I'll get to that in a minute. But it's just everything's papering over cracks. So anyway, it got to half time, and I pretty much thought the game were dead. I mean, sometimes you can see where we might get back in the game, like against Bristol and against Derby. But we just looked off. We just looked completely flat this time. So the second half started. Thomas came on and he made an assist straight away for McGeehan. Like I said, nice finish into the far corner. But it just papered over the cracks. We had a roar for like 5-10 minutes, and after that, it just fell away. And then we conceded the Joe Allen goal from the corner. Absolutely non-existent marking. There's on marking. They're supposed to have been weaned out by Murray, but whether they've just not listened or whether he's told them to do that, but they've just let him go, and it's a simple finish. And at 3-1, you're treading water again. And then we just went absolutely all-out attack, and the gaps appeared. We made Stoke look so good. We made them look so good at times, and they weren't good. And I'm pretty convinced that they'll still be relegated this season. But we just made them look so much better, and for me it was like an experience versus inexperienced game, and look who won convincingly. Experience. And the board are going to continue with this remit, and you're going to draw here and there and an encouraging performance, and it papers over the cracks. But it's a pretty obvious thing that experience is better than what we have yesterday. The fourth goal came, another great finish from Klukas, but you give him the time and the space, and he's going to punish you because he's a good player. He's scored goals in the Premier League, and you can't. We lost possession easy again, and it broke to him, and at 4-1 it's all over, and the cat calls for the board start coming. The atmosphere turned a bit toxic, to be fair. Got a late consolation through Patrick Schmidt, and I'm pleased for Patrick because he's had his injury problems and he was out of favour under Stendhal. But Chaplin did absolutely nothing yesterday, so why didn't he come on earlier? What we've got to lose? We have, in the position we are, we've got nothing to lose, absolutely nothing. And Schmidt's an Austrian international, under 21 international. He scored it under 23s a couple of times in the last week or two. Why is he not starting? Why not? I mean, Chaplin's okay, but he's not going to get you 15, 20 goals a season. Woodrow yesterday, I didn't think he was playing. He was completely the spine that I'd talked about in my last video was completely non-existent. So 4-2, and now we're cut adrift. Stoke have gone 2 points above us now. I think we're 5 points off safety. Now we've got 2 away games coming up at Blackburn and Middlesbrough. It's hard to look forward. I was going to do this video. I finished work quite late last night. I was going to do this video when I come in, but I was fuming. I have calmed down a bit this morning, but we're not in a position where we think we can turn up and turn teams over, because we're not good. We're not good enough. We're in major trouble. We're still making the same mistakes. No manager worth his salt's going to come here with players making mistakes like that, because their hands are just going to be tied straight away. Then they're going to be tied from the board, who only will allow them to use certain players. It's tough to see where the next win's coming from. It's only going to get worse before it gets better. The games come thick and fast after this break, up to the Christmas period, and I am seriously concerned that the fight's going to go. I think we've had in last few weeks we've had some fight. I think the fight's going to go now, because if you can't beat the side that's below you, or even get a decent performance against the side that's below you at home, what chance have we got against anybody else? So we've got the international break now, thank God. We don't have to think about this for a couple of weeks, and maybe the board can get somebody in that time period, but they did in the last window. I mean, this is what winds me up. Stoke they recognised the problem, sacked the manager, and in a week they got in Michael O'Neill, who was a good manager, and clearly there was a bounce yesterday. And they might go on now and end up being mid-table, because they've got good former Premier League quality players. No manager here is going to want a relegation on their CV. So, and it pains me to say it, but it's November, but it's going to be a relegation. It's going to be a relegation. You can't say it's not. Nothing's going to change. And I just don't think they might as well. I've seen other videos and they've said they might as well get Murray. I agree, because end of the day, I think Murray could. Well, what's the point? We're going to be at least 10, 15 points adrift by January 1st. So no players are going to want to come here, which means no managers are going to want to come here. And it's just going to be a downward spiral, I think, this season. And I just hope that when we go back to League One, which we probably will, we've still got enough self-confidence to try and mount a challenge to come back again. It's going to be a tough time this next 6 months. So we move on and we go to Blackburn and we see what we can do there. But obviously now the confidence in players and fans is as low as it's going to be. I'm not going to talk about the board today. I can't be asked, if I'm honest. I don't want to talk about them. So we're just going to move on. I'll see you for a match preview. I'm going to take a week and a half off because I'm going to on holiday this week. So my next match preview is going to be in Disney World, which should be interesting to film. And some of my videos that I might put on after today might be Disney related. So if you don't want to watch them, just don't watch them. But it'll be a match preview sometime the back end of next week. So we'll see what develops, and up the Reds.